Okay, so what if you could just rebuild the internet from the ground up? I'm not talking about a new app or a new website. I mean the entire digital world, from the code it runs on to the actual phone in your hand. Well, today we're going to dive into the blueprint from a company called Linkspreed that is trying to do just that.
And it all starts with this question. Who really owns your digital world? I mean, think about it. Your photos, your private messages, your entire professional network, your identity online, where does all that stuff actually live? And maybe more importantly, who's in charge of it? This question, this is the reason Linkspreed even exists.
In this slide, it just lays out the whole conflict perfectly. Over on the left, that's the web we all know. Our data is locked up in these corporate silos, and let's be honest, we're the product being sold. And if you're a creator who actually makes it big, well, you get hit with what Linkspreed calls a success tax by the platform. But on the right, that's the vision. Digital sovereignty, you as the owner, and profits going back to the community. It's a totally different universe. So let's get into the why of it all. What is so broken about today's web that you'd even consider starting over completely from scratch? Well, the core problem is this idea of centralized data silos. Just imagine every big tech company is its own walled garden. All your data, all your friends, all your content, it's trapped inside those walls. You can't just pack up your network from one place and move it to another, right? And that centralization gives a tiny number of companies a staggering amount of control over our digital lives. So how do you tear down those walls? Well, Linkspreed's answer is to come up with a whole new social blueprint, one that rebuilds the internet around communities instead of corporations. And they've got a name for it, Web 4. Now, I know you've heard about Web 3, right? That's all about decentralized money and assets. Web 4 is different. Its entire focus is on decentralizing the social part of the web. The big idea here is about who owns the social graph, which is just a fancy term for the map of all your online connections. In the Web 4 vision, that map belongs to you and your community, not some tech giant. And the thing that makes this all possible is called the Web 4 engine. The heart of it is this concept they call SNAS, or Social Networks as a Service. The easiest way to think about it is like a build-your-own social network kit. Anyone can use it. It's built for real, messy, many-to-many conversations, not just one person yelling into the void. And pretty cool, it even has its own decentralized AI to help with stuff like moderation, so you don't need that kind of top-down centralized control we're all used to.
Now, building a new social web is one thing, but it has to run on a totally different kind of economy. You need a new way for people to make money, and Linkspreed is going right after that success tax we talked about.
And this is the number that their entire economic model is built around, 0%. That's a huge claim, so what does it really mean? It means they plan to take a 0% cut from creators and businesses using their platform.
Let me put that into perspective for you. A normal platform, they're going to skim anywhere from 3 to over 7% right off the top of everything you make. That's the success tax. If you're running a small business or you're an artist, that is a huge deal. Linkspreed's platform, TRIVE, takes a completely different approach. They take 100% of what you earn, you keep.
So what is TRIVE? Well, it's a whole collection of free software tools. There's a set for businesses called Vertex and another for individuals called Origin. The whole point is to give people the digital tools they need to run their business or their creative life, but without all those fees that just eat away at your bottom line.
Okay, so we've got a new social system and a new economy, but if you really want true digital freedom, you can't just build your house on someone else's land. You have to own the physical layer too. You have to own the hardware.
And that is where Wynix enters the picture. Wynix is Linkspreed's own brand of consumer hardware. These are the actual physical devices that are meant to be the gateways into this whole Web 4 world.
And they're building a whole suite of them. Wearables like smart glasses, a smart ring, and a smartphone. But here's the absolute game changer. The W4 phone is designed to work as your own personal server. That means you can host your own data, your own communities, your own corner of the internet, right from the device in your pocket. And if you need more horsepower, they have the Arctic line of little home servers. Owning the hardware connects directly to another huge problem with the internet today. Just think about it. How many times a day do you log into something new? And you probably just click sign in with Google or sign in with Facebook. Your entire online identity is basically chained to a big tech company.
So, Linkspreed's answer to that is the UIUID, the Universal Independent ID. It's a decentralized way of proving who you are. But instead of your ID living on some corporate server, it's managed locally, right on your own Wynix device. It just cuts the cord completely. No more relying on big tech for your digital passport, because you hold it yourself.
All right, we have a new social layer, a new economy, new hardware, and a new way to handle identity. That's a lot of pieces, so how does it all actually come together for a normal person? Well, that's the final piece of this giant puzzle, this super app.
You can really see how it all stacks up here. At the very bottom, you've got the foundational protocols, like the UIID. Then you stack the physical hardware from Winex right on top of that. Layered on that is the zero-fee TRIVE economy, and at the very peak, wrapping it all into one experience for you, the user, is the super app.
And this table, this is basically the company's own summary of its grand plan. At every single level, strategy, economy, physical, and protocol, Linkspread sees itself as the builder. They're drawing the blueprint, they're killing the fees, they're making the hardware, and they're writing the rulebook. It's a completely holistic vision for building, well, a new digital world.
So, when you strip everything else away, this is what it all comes down to. This is the big shift they're pushing for. Moving away from this old world where we are the product being bought and sold, and into a new one where we are the owners.
And that brings us to the big final question to think about. This is an absolutely massive vision for a decentralized, user-owned internet. But it's a vision being designed, built, and manufactured by one single company. So I'll leave you with this. What does it really mean, the good and the bad, when one entity sets out to build an entire vertically integrated digital world, even if the whole point is to eventually give that world away?